And here we are again. This is going to be my first ever juggle tutorial. So DJ Dopez is now teaching beat juggling. And yeah, I've been wanting to do this one for a while since I know I've gotten questions about juggling. And I know a lot of people think I'm only like really good at scratching or whatever, but I can kind of juggle here and there. So yeah, I just figured I'd give my take on the subject. I'm using doubles of Drop It Like It's Hot by Snoop Dogg from '04. And yeah, a lot of you are going to say I totally bit the shit out of precision routine, but this record is actually really good for practicing beat juggle since there's so much percussion in it, and you can honestly flip it so many different ways. So yeah, let's just get started. I'm right now on the instrumental side A, I believe. So my first cue is set at the kick roll that sets off the track. Fucked it up a while. Knocked over the tripod almost. Anyway, so basically the pattern, or the part that I'm using of this record is going to be the part after like that on the first verse when I think Pharrell starts to rap. If I can, this sticker cue's all been messed up. It always goes back one loop that it shouldn't. But anyway, the first beat is this. So that's what we're going to be using. Again, same thing on this side. So let's take the track apart a little bit and realize what we're working with. This charger keeps getting unplugged. Alright, anyway. So let's see. We've got... It goes bum, it goes bum, 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 bum. So it goes kick, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare. Kick, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare. So it's a kick. Then it's like the tongue click sound. Then it's a kick snare. Then it's another tongue click, I think. And then it's another kick. So that is honestly quite a few sounds that you can mess with beat juggling. What I'd like to do is I do a variation of I believe Precision is the he once said that he's like the originator of the triplets to like 4/4 timing juggle, where you're basically taking 3 notes, but you're adding a baby scratch in the middle to make it 4/4. So it's like. So what you're doing is you're taking those 3 notes and you're starting at not the kick. You're starting at the tongue click, and you're doing a baby scratch on the kick to keep it in beat. So that's one thing you can do. Another important thing in juggling is you can basically do some like light drumming if you have a kick and a snare during beat juggling. So you know, again, you have this. So you've got a kick and a snare next to each other, which you can basically drum them into making your own little beat. So what I like to do is while you're juggling, keep hitting the damn tripod, but you kind of get what I mean, where you're basically juggling the track. So basically you're just kind of doubling up the kicks a little bit and making sure your snares are landing on 2 and 4, because in a beat juggle you basically have a beat juggle as long as your snares are landing at the right spot. And there's basically 2 types of beat juggling. The juggling that I'm doing right now is what I call maybe trick mix juggling, or regular current, like, you know, not changing the tempo juggling, you're just shuffling the shit out of it. Because there's that kind of juggling, and then there's the classic idea of beat juggling where you're actually chasing and strobing and doing all those crazy tap pauses to change the tempo of the beat. I'll probably go over that later in this same video, but right now I'm just kind of go over in the trick mix juggle, which is basically your kind of like warm-up juggles, or the juggles that before you get into that crazy breakdown type shit. So. So notice this pattern. Basically, so I'm doing what I was doing before. The damn charger keeps going out. Wow, I can't believe this. So what I did there is I'm grabbing the other kick after the snare, so kick, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare. So this is another kick snare, but notice that the kick is further than the snare, unlike this one. So this one's kick, kick, snare. But this one's kick, snare. And then we have a lone kick right here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm doing that pattern. Notice I grabbed this one from the kick snare, from the slow kick snare pattern. I grabbed this kick and I doubled it up with the original beat. Right here. That's one thing I forgot to mention. To make the beat really, I guess, come alive, you can add in a little variation on like the 4th bar. On this record, you know, that it kicks off with like this little like weird tom. So you know, you can do your little juggles. So now we're going to go into another pattern that I do. Basically, so these patterns are based on using this first kick. Now we're going to get into this kick right here. So this is after the first snare. So, you know. So now we're going to start this juggle pattern, but we're going to start it using these kicks. So basically, I'm starting the beat off with this kick right here. And I'm keeping it in beat with the first snare. So basically, I'm kind of like going back and forth from this kick right here. I just realized you can't really see the cue point marker on the other record. Yeah, I don't know if there's a way I can show it. That's a little better. Okay, whatever. So, like I said, all I'm doing is I'm using these kicks. Sometimes I'm doubling it up with the previous kick that's right before the snare. So what I was doing there was I was going to this other tongue click that's after the kick. Yeah, I'm not really going to go into that one because I can't even do it well. So now we'll slowly start breaking into like the halftime stuff. So this kick is actually really good for the beginning of a halftime beat juggle because So that's a cool motor off technique that I do. You can do it with either turntable. Honestly, it's easier to do motor off techniques with the left turntable just because the start stop button's right here. But honestly, I find myself able to reach and do it with the right. All I'm doing there is, again, I'm starting at these kicks. So I do a pattern where I play this kick and I just hit stop. So that's the first note. Cue this up real quick. So yeah. So basically, I go from right. I go play the note, play the kick, hit the stop. Then I switch over to the left turntable, play the snare, and as I'm playing the left turntable, I use my thumb on the platter to wheel it back, kind of at 33 RPM if possible, just so it's like the same beat, the same BPM. You don't want to do it too fast, but you also don't want to do it too slow. You kind of want to do it like the same direction, spinning forward but backwards. So that takes a lot of practice. If the tripod wasn't in the way, I can do this a little better, but also what you can do is, since you have a kick and a snare, but the kick is after the snare, do a little drumming to keep it on beat. If you miss the start on this turntable, then you can kind of improvise a little scratch drumming. That second kick snare combo that's a little slower, but you can also get down on it, because it's just a kick snare. Let's see, one other pattern that I can talk about is a snare juggle type thing that I call the vect snare roll. That's not even a roll. It's just like a juggle pattern. I remember because I would do it, and Vect said that I bit it off him, which I guess I did. But I'll show you what it is. Shit. You're doubling up the snare, or doubling and tripling it up. So yeah, that's that's gonna be the Vect like snare roll thing where, let me turn on the pitch so I can kind of demonstrate it slowly. So yeah, that gives you a brief idea. I think he debuted that. The first juggle I saw him do that in was the Insane in the Membrane juggle. He did it at the DMC Online 2012, I believe. Let's see what else we got. So yeah, I kind of went over regular time patterns and a little bit of halftime patterns. some of the patterns that I do. You know, you can apply this fundamentally to like a lot of beats, but I just chose this one because I have it on vinyl and I want to show off that I can juggle kind of on vinyl without the aid of a DVS. Just kidding, that's really pretentious. But yeah, so I know this one wasn't as well, not produced, but well, I don't know, explained as well as my scratch tutorials, just because I know scratching. But yeah, I really wanted to just give you guys an idea of my beat juggles and the way it works. And honestly, just following the cues, like the record cues, I'm sure that helps a lot. I knew I needed a tripod for this one because trying to explain beat juggling without like the turntables or without the camera above the turntables, it kind of gets lost in translation. So yeah, hopefully you got something out of that. Hopefully it just wasn't just me showing off the whole time and making you guys feel like shitty. No, but I really hope you guys got something out of that. So yeah, again, I'll probably upload this literally like today. Today being March 22nd. So basically the day after the scratch tutorial. So here's some content for y'all. I hope you guys really enjoy it. And again, follow me on Instagram at Dopez1200. Keep up with me. And yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know via Instagram or on the comments. I'll try to be better about replying. And yeah, y'all take it easy. Peace.